Hey everyone, welcome to Expeditions, a MudRunner game. This is the first half an hour with some commentary from yours truly, but I had a chance to preview this game and I made a video about it a while ago, but now we're playing the full game together. It's out, I guess if you pay to get the early access to it, which is crazy, but we'll talk about that in a bit. But let's get into the game and you can make your own impressions while I talk about mine. I'm gonna go for a new game. I did play 2% worth of the game in the demo. I played the entire demo that they gave me, but thankfully my save slot carries over. So what is Expeditions, a MudRunner game? Well, if you've been paying attention to the news on this, basically it is MudRunner slash SnowRunner without trailers and without trailering things. It's all about scouting. So we're here to learn the basics about driving. I'm using the wrong controller here. It's honestly pretty much exactly the same controls and stuff as what you can expect from these games. Honestly, if I didn't know better, it feels exactly the same as MudRunner and SnowRunner. No difference really. But I am definitely happy to be showing you actual footage of this. Funnily enough, I had some footage I could have shown you in the preview and I lost access to it because I didn't download it in time. But I wasn't allowed to have my own footage for that. The thing is, though, they could have just let me because there's nothing really out of the ordinary with this game. I didn't have any performance issues, and I haven't had any now. There's a slight stutter every once in a while if you're going into a new area. That's literally all the problems I've had with this game. There's nothing else to be worried about in that regard. It's basically SnowRunner, so if you can play that game, you can play this one. This game does have some cool stuff, though. It's not just those games redone with a different coat of paint. There is a little bit of a difference, and there's some extra features as well, things to keep in mind. Obviously, we have all of our normal stuff like all-wheel drive, diff locks, that kind of thing, depending on your vehicle, but we also have the ability to air down tires. It has not given us that tutorial yet, but you can see what I just did there. It's off on the left side above the fuel gauge. But that makes a big difference on terrain, and airing down tires is really cool, so I'm happy to see that in the series. As we run through the tutorial, we're getting into diff locks and stuff. I have to be in low to be able to use diffs on this vehicle, so that makes sense. Again, gotta pay attention to what I'm doing here. So the tray on the back of the truck is actually useful for items, basically because we're going on an expedition. We need to be prepared for what we encounter. So that's what the tray is for fuel, spare parts, and I think stuff that you pick up along the way. So it's important to make sure that you have space. We'll get there though. So you can come up along caches. Basically a resource zone is what they're calling it in this game. This one only has one thing on it. Sometimes they have fuel, spare parts, that kind of thing. That one does not have much, but if we go to our inventory, it's a memory card, and it's basically a quest item, something we can't actually use. Here they're telling us about the tire inflation system, but I'm already using it. So yeah, you just go down and change your pressure. It gives you a little bit of a thing to tell you where you're at with your fuel efficiency and with your tire traction, which is going to change depending on the tires you have, just like SnowRunner and MudRunner, except now we have more options, so it's cool. I think that kind of thing, it gives some of the tires that were bad and just very bad before a bit of a chance to shine, because now you can air down. Fuel economy matters. In the things that I played, it wasn't really that big of a deal, but you do have to keep the tire stuff in mind. If you drive on flat tires, it's going to damage your vehicle. So refuel, this is from a storage tank, which we have on the sides of the truck. You can see there. One of them is missing because I just refueled and it's now, well, gone. So we don't need to do that anymore. Repair. Oh no, we're broken. What do we do? Yeah, we can just go to the stuff here with your repair points and pick out the stuff that you want to fix. So in this case, we'll fix the gearbox, which is now at 100%. We'll fix the engine. We have 108 repair points left. Fix all this stuff, and then tires are a separate thing, although we don't actually need to do that. You can see that's what is being held on the back here. So the red is fuel tanks, tires, and then the blue is the, or black possibly, can't really see it, but that's the repair kits. And I think that's it for the tutorial, probably? No, we gotta deliver the actual supplies that I picked up, and now that's it for the tutorial. So we get some cash, and we're done with our first expedition. So it gives you a little bit of a summary at the end of the expedition, basically telling you how far you went, fuel used, damage taken, and usually in the side here you'll get points based on certain milestones. So if you don't take damage, you'll get extra points. If you don't flip over, you'll get extra points, that kind of thing. So let's go on our first expedition. You can see all the rewards here, and also I guess there's really nothing else to this quest. But what I was talking about before is down in the bonus. Take less than 200 damage, 500 extra dollars of whatever the currency is, 500 extra cash. So we get paid a little bit, and then we get a little bit after the fact as well. And in this we will be unlocking a specialist, which are kind of an interesting way to do things. But we need to pick out our truck. So I have not actually been able to play with most of these because in the tutorial we had only this and this. So there wasn't, or in the demo, I mean, we only had these two options. There's a lot more trucks here to choose from right out of the gate. The thing is though, and this is something to keep in mind, that this game, very much like SnowRunner, is going to be DLC heavy. It already is. You have to buy like a premium edition to get early access to the stuff here. So keep in mind, you might not have these vehicles. This might just be because this version that the developers gave me has the Seasons Pass. I'm pretty sure it does. So this might not be an option for you. So just keep that in mind. So for this quest, you can see we need a sideboard and we also need jack screws. So we have to have those things in our loadout before we finish this in order to be successful. So I'm going to take this TUZ or TUZ16 Acteron, can't say words, but this will be our vehicle of choice. Now in the inventory we need to bring the jack screws. This comes from the store. You got to pay for this, so you got to make sure that you're not wasting it, because you don't necessarily get this back. If you don't use these inventory pieces, you get half of it back. So I could potentially be wasting $750, but it is a requirement, so in this case we have to bring it. You can see if we had more money, there is more stuff we can bring. Anchors, which is essentially like a mobile tree. You put it down and you can winch to it. Range finders, all this stuff, these are quest specific, but stuff like fuel, spare parts, and spare wheels we can also load up into our inventory and our sideboards as well. Obviously the truck modification system is back in the game. There is quite a bit of stuff you can do, lift kits and tires and all that sort of thing. Immediately what I do in these games is literally just go to the tires and add the best ones we can get. Unfortunately, it seems like all we can do is off-road tires, which is probably better than these all-terrains, and in fact they are. These things are basically useless. You may as well just go straight to mud tires, and there's a reason that they're as expensive as they are. Now these exterior upgrades actually do matter because these give you certain things. Bolt-on fenders, it in fact gives a slight crash protection bonus, so just stuff to keep in mind. Same thing with the rear, we have a rack at the back. Roof rack gives us more slots to put things, so we can load that up with fuel, we can load it up with spare parts, stuff to keep us going in these expeditions. But again, that's a costly outlay that you might not get back at the end of the day, so you got to be careful. And as you would expect, we have frame modules. Short flatbed is a free one, but a lot of these things are more just required for certain quests, stuff like the fuel tank and all that. But the sideboard is required for this one, so that's what we're going to use. And I think that's good. Can we deploy? So you have to pick your location. Obviously, I don't have anywhere to go, so we're just going to start here. Okay, welcome to the open-ish area, the open map. Now, obviously, we're just starting the game. I don't have anything unlocked. These are the waypoints here, but we don't have anything to do. We're kind of stuck, but we're out on an expedition, so let's go. Well, you can pretty much stop at the store anytime and pick up these things. This stuff is all just sitting in the base for you, so if you run out of fuel or you're getting low on fuel, you can run back. I'm going to grab some of the extra wheels, just add them to this thing so that we have extra wheels just in case. And now it's sitting in the bed of the truck. So something to keep in mind is weight as well. Our sideboard now has 2 wheels in it, so that does add up quite a bit. I'm going to put all this fuel in the reserve tank, not saying we actually need it, and that's it for our space. Our inventory has space, but our sideboards do not. There we go, the bed is full of fuel and wheels. Hopefully we don't need them, but that should be enough to go on this expedition. You can see what I mean, though. You got to be careful about buying stuff because you don't really need it necessarily. We should be okay. So we need to open the minimap and follow these quest markers here. This is just the first area. There's also a quest here that we can do. But yeah, as we explore more, we'll be able to see more. Again, this is just the first map. One thing that I've noticed about this game is that this is what the roads look like. There's no paved roads on this entire map that I could see. Previous to this, I played about 2.5 hours. I tried to explore the map as much as I could. Literally zero pavement. So if you're used to that and you like that in SnowRunner and MudRunner, this is definitely not the game for you. So I talked a little bit about monetization before, but we'll have to get to that after the Echo Scanner. This is one of those tools that you get. Every vehicle has it, but it allows you to kind of sound the depths of the water that you're walking in, or you're driving in. We're definitely not running, but we're driving in this potentially deep water. So you want to use the echo sounder every once in a while, see what you're doing. It looks like there's something here for us. A radio station which cannot be transferred. Rest in peace. I accidentally put too much stuff in the sideboard and I cannot fit the quest item now. Hold on a minute. Okay, I ditched the wheels. We don't need all those wheels, so we'll put that in and we'll put one wheel in. So we have 2 wheels max plus the radio thing that we needed to pick up. And now we can continue, and we'll just have to keep in mind I left 1 wheel there that we can use if necessary. Probably not necessary, but if necessary. So as it's trying to teach us about all of the stuff that we can do, we want to be using the drone now. Essentially, it's just a free cam. It's a slightly difficult to control free cam, but basically what you want to do with this is figure out your route. So in this case, we're here, up on this cliff, and we want to go around to the side, up and over onto this plateau. But obviously, that's the only way to get up there, so easy enough. So monetization is a thing with this game that I'm interested in seeing how it goes. I think SnowRunner did this too, where they kind of just put out like a day 1 DLC with the game, and it contained an OP vehicle, which reviewers, including me, had access to. I'm not a fan of that kind of practice. I definitely don't support it. I just want to point that out in this discussion. This is not a review of the game by any means. I haven't played enough of it to review, but just keep that in mind. Like the publisher, whoever is kind of pushing that stuff, I'm not a fan. The game is not even a full price game, but if you want the special edition and stuff, it is full price in that case. Okay. Yeah, I forgot. You're actually not even supposed to go up here with the truck. You're supposed to go up here with the drone. So pardon me for a second while I pull out the drone, fly over to the circle, and now we can go back and do this again because I did it out of order. Alright, so it's trying to show us how to use the winch. It literally works exactly the same way as it does in the other games. You just kind of winch to stuff, or you can... Oh, I suck. I'm putting myself into a situation where I actually do need the winch, but there you go. This truck is quite capable. I don't think we're going to need the winch for this situation, but it's the same thing here. Pull it out, and then you can attach to your different nodes on the truck, and then also different nodes in the environment. Now the thing is that the anchors are kind of a cheat sheet a little bit, but there are some areas that absolutely require them. Like you can just not get through some sections that I found without using an anchor, unless maybe a different vehicle can do it. Enter delivery mode. Sometimes in expeditions you'll have to complete quest objectives or complete structure construction, which is cool, but in this case all we have to do is deliver the supplies, and I think that's it. That was a weird one because it didn't give me a prompt, but it was just X to get it through that. As we have traveled a bit of a distance, you can see all of the little check marks. This is a notable climb, that's why that's there, and then these are all of our waypoints that we've hit on the way up to this little spot. But you can see over here is our next area, and there's a bit of a gap to cross to get there. There's also an airdrop here, which is kind of a resource cache on the map. Looks like it has some stuff in it for us. If we grab that stuff and then bring it back, we will get rewarded for doing so. So remember when I said that the jack screw is something that is expensive, and then you got to use it wisely because it's expensive, and you can actually lose money on an expedition if you're not careful with these inventory items. Well, on your expeditions, you can also pick them up in the environment, and then there's a specialist that you can use to get paid extra for them when you sell them. So if you fill this and you finish your expedition, you'll get paid half as much as those items are actually worth if you were to add them to your inventory at the beginning of the expedition. So it is actually worth it to pick them up and bring them to the end. You'll get paid quite a bit for it. You'll probably make more money doing that than on the actual expedition itself if you get lucky with some of the anchor stuff. Now the camera is super touchy here, but basically we're just trying to go to this airdrop that's further over that way, or maybe we aren't, maybe I don't care about that. Either way, we kind of need to cross a bit of a river to get there, and it's going to be interesting to do so. We could try and get this airdrop. I think I might. I remember I got that before, but we got to go to this one as well. In this case, the only objective is actually just to explore the area, which is done via the drone, but I'm actually going to drive over there a little bit. This might end up being the same thing I did before, jumping the way to do things, but I just want to go and take a look at this. Oh yeah. Let's turn it off to save fuel and pop out the drone. And then there is the airdrop right there. We got 100 coins for doing that, $100, 100 bills. And we have officially explored this area in its fullest. But you can see the kind of difficult terrain that you have to get through in this game. In order to do this, we would have to drive down this sort of jaded slope, which is fairly narrow, not going to be good enough for the big trucks. Then have to come up over this after we grab the airdrop that's down there, up over that, and then around to the airdrop. So, oh, there's also what looks to be a mine or something over here. Let's take a look. We might run out of signal before I get there. Yeah, there's something over there too, so that would be an interesting place to explore. But yeah, let's go. I don't think it's going to tell us to do it. We just have to go back. But let's go take a look at this, see if we can't just go and get this airdrop at a minimum. I brought enough supplies to do more than what I need, and so it's worth it for me to go on this further adventure. At least I think so. Maybe it isn't for you though. That's the beauty of the expedition side of things. Bring very few materials and run it really thin and just do the bare minimum, or you can overload yourself and then have to go and do this type of stuff in order to get more items. So let's see what we got. Okay, inventory items. We got dinosaur fossils. It's valuable, and we also got scrap metal. So we'll take all those. We'll take all that fuel, fill up our fuel tank, thank you very much, and spare parts. Fill ourselves up on those too. Actually, we may as well just go all the way with that. I don't think I'm particularly broken, but that could change at any moment. Yikes. Now, how do we get up the rest of this? Honestly, I don't particularly want to try to drive up that. I feel like we're going to end up using one of the screw jacks, and that's going to cost me money. So, I'm going to go around, for better or worse. It turns out it's better. That was actually not that bad. But we'll try to get up this slope as well and see how that goes. I think it's going to be easy. Come on, buddy. I don't even have the diff locks. No low range. This thing's a beast. There's no question about that. Easy does it. That was easy. Okay, down here, and we'll try to get to the other airdrop up at the top. So I've been basically just stating facts about the game so far, but I may as well give you a little bit of my opinion on it, because, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I can help guide you a little bit. I think that this game is pretty good. Like, I think that if you're into scouting missions, especially in SnowRunner and MudRunner and such, SnowRunner is the only reference I have because I haven't actually played the desktop version of MudRunner. I've only played the mobile one. But if you're into the scouting missions in SnowRunner, you're probably going to like this game quite a bit. It's all the small trucks. You saw there was some big stuff. There is actually some heavy equipment as well, and I'm sure that you'll have to use that for quests. But it's mostly just small trucks and like climbs like this and technical driving. It so far hasn't been particularly difficult in the time that I've played it, but it could always get harder. I'm sure it will. Okay, we got more stuff here, more anchors, more scrap, and dinosaur femurs. I'm not sure what's actually worth it, actually. We've got double anchors, so I think I will try to take the dinosaur thing for better or worse. We need more inventory space on this sucker. But yeah, my opinion of the game is pretty much just that consider this a spin-off. Obviously it is a spin-off of SnowRunner and MudRunner. Don't try to see it as a sequel to any of those games, because it's definitely not. I definitely prefer the heavy hauling stuff. I'm much more into that and the trailering and the stuff that goes with that than I am in the scout missions and that type of stuff. In SnowRunner, to me, the scout missions are just a good break from the hauling missions. I really like hauling stuff, but that's just me. So if you prefer scout missions, this game is 100% scout missions from what I can tell, and I think you're really going to like it. If you don't like the scout missions, you might not like this game. Also, something to keep in mind, they are adding co-op. It's just not here yet, so if you're looking to play with friends, you play SnowRunner with friends, you're going to be stuck solo for a bit while they put co-op in the game. Although, fortunately, this game is not Epic exclusive like SnowRunner was for a while, so thank goodness for that. We can at least see some positives. Also, the game is not kind to me. Okay, well, this is a good chance to demo that I don't even need the screw jack, boy. Holy crap. That was flawless victory right there. No issues. But normally if you flip over like that, then you can use the screw jack. It basically just spawns you upright and then you continue. So it's... Oh, that's engine damage. That's not good. Okay, we got spare parts. We're good. We're clean. No issues there. We can fix it. But yeah, these items are very powerful. So that's the reason that they cost as much as they do. Like I said, this quest, it required us to buy some stuff, so you have to outlay some cost no matter what. But I'm thinking that some quests probably won't. So something to keep in mind. You do have flexibility in what you bring, though, in every quest that I've played. No winch points. See, this, if I was actually to run into an issue where I think I'm going to get stuck, the easiest way to get out of it is probably the anchors. They make a huge difference in how you navigate the terrain, because you can pretty much set them up wherever and then you just winch to it and you're good. Like, it's that easy. Okay, so the game wants me to go out to here. We'll see if we can't just go and do exactly that. It was something I've already done previously. And now we need to go back to base. We can recover. We parked the truck and the expedition is complete. And we took less than 200 damage, so we get some money. Get the sponsor payment there as well, I believe. We also are unlocking some stuff. And all my items, you can see that I actually made more money on items than I did on the expedition itself, which is really funny and to be expected. So we made a ton of cash, we brought home a bunch of stuff, and I did not have to use the items it said I would. That is a wrap on the first expedition. But you can see that there are a lot of things, including mods. We also have all of this, which has its own prologue that you can just jump into immediately, which is cool. You're not stuck in one area. You can jump around between these three, which is cool. But for the sake of not spoiling the entire game for you, I will not spoil the entire game for you. Let's just do the first expedition and be done with it. But yeah, that's MudRunner Expeditions, or Expeditions MudRunner, whatever they're calling it these days. It looks like we have a bunch of trucks in our collection here, which is kind of crazy that there are so many of them, but I could have spawned in with more. Let's take a quick look at the truck store and just see what's available to me at the moment, because why not? Okay, looking at all trucks, we got this thing, we got the Dawn, another version of the Dawn, only a slightly different variant. It actually seems to have the exact same specs, it's just a different look, so I know this one is DLC. I'm thinking with this that maybe they learned their lesson, because it's just a cosmetic thing, but then this is also, I believe, exclusively DLC, but I'm not totally sure. The Lodestar 1700, Lodestar 1700 SE, again a DLC thing, and it's the same, no, it's different specs. Huh, it's a very slightly better engine, but it's a little bit more expensive. We got a big boy off-road truck. We got another big boy off-road truck. This is what we've been driving right here. OP as heck. It's the base truck in the game though, so you can all use it. And then the different variant of it, which apparently has a slightly better engine again. I'm not sure how that goes. More big trucks. Lots and lots of big stuff. This thing is funny. I don't think I'd be using the Gurkha in this game. but I'm interested to try it. Classic Scout, gotta have the van in there. The Bandit, oh man, old school. This is a classic too. Yeah, there's a decent amount of trucks, and the Yar as well. I really like this one in SnowRunner. Some of these are ones you've seen before. I think all of them might actually be stuff you've seen before, but it's all cool stuff, so can't complain. Yeah, so I'm starting off the game with a huge amount of stuff. I don't know if this is going to be the case for everybody, but yeah, you got a lot of options right out of the gate. You're definitely not going to be struggling with money in this game if you just sell those things. But that's it, boys. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoy what you see with Expeditions MudRunner. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I'm definitely positive on this game. I think it's great, but I don't think it's a like knock out of the park type of thing. It's a solid like 7 out of 10 if I had to give it an initial impressions, but I want to play more of the game before I get into that other stuff. This is not amazing. Immediately coming out with a bunch of stuff that's already DLC. Maybe it's just this version of the truck that's like the Canyon version or something that's DLC, I don't know, but I didn't see a second version in there, so it seems like the only thing that's actually exclusive to the Year 1 pass so far is this Canyon truck. That being said, it's still Day 1 DLC. I know it's something that happens a lot these days, but I'm not a big fan. Other than that, though, game's great. Hopefully you guys would be interested in seeing more of this. I am interested in playing more. Until then, boys, I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.